Now we will start our discussion on arthropod-borne infections. There are four diseases included in your syllabus. It includes malaria, dengue syndrome, Zika virus disease, and lymphatic filariasis. In next few sessions, we are going to discuss topic of malaria. Let us try to understand what is malaria. Malaria is protozoal infection. It is caused by genus Plasmodium and it is transmitted by bites of certain species of infected female Anopheline mosquito, and clinically typical attack of malaria or classical attack of malaria is characterized by three stages. These stages includes cold stage, hot stage and sweating stage. Let's look at problem of malaria at global level, or simply the title used in K-Park as problem statement world. Between the year 2010 and 2016, global incidence of malaria has decreased by 18%, as well as mortality also reduced by 32% in high-risk population. Highest global burden of malaria it is seen in sub-Saharan Africa. In the year 2016, 216 million cases of malaria has been reported, whereas in the same year 4,45,000 deaths due to malaria were reported. In the year 2016, malaria transmission reported from 91 countries in the world. How many people in the world they are having risk of malaria? Yes, it is half of world's population which is at risk of malaria. Now let us see some specific groups who are having higher risk of developing malaria infection. These groups includes young children, those pregnant women who are not immune to malaria or who are semi-immune to malaria, pregnant women with HIV infection, people with HIV or people with AIDS. It further includes travelers traveling from non-endemic areas to malaria endemic areas, as well as immigrants returning from non-endemic areas to malaria endemic areas. Problem of malaria, which is seen in children. Globally, 10% to 30% children they die due to severe malaria, and majority of these children they are residing in remote areas or in rural areas where adequate treatment facilities are not available. So these children they are not getting appropriate prompt anti-malarial treatment, and as a result they lose their life. What are important causes of deaths in the children? The most important cause is cerebral malaria, and second important cause is anemia. Now, try to understand what are various global challenges related to malaria. One of the challenge is underreporting of cases of malaria as well as underreporting of deaths due to malaria. Most important emerging problem is drug resistance. Drug resistance is developed by malarial parasite, and these malarial parasites may show monodrug resistance, that is they will show resistance to single drug used in treatment of malaria, or they may show multi-drug resistance. So resistance is reported from different parts of the world to drugs like sulfadoxine and pyrimethamine, chloroquine, quinine, mefloquine. Another global challenge related to malaria, it includes less coverage of indoor residual spraying. Indoor residual spraying is one of the most important vector control measure and its coverage is less than 50%. Problem statement India. In India, major public health problem related to malaria is falciparum malaria. So it is that type which is caused by Plasmodium falciparum. This malaria is severe and complicated and in majority of cases it contributes to mortality. Depending upon number of malaria cases per thousand population, different areas in India are divided into two criterias: high transmission areas and low transmission areas. Now, high transmission areas means what? So, these are the areas where one case or more than one case of malaria is reported per thousand population. Near about 21.98% Indian population lives in high transmission areas. The criteria for low transmission area includes 0 to 1 case of malaria per thousand population. What it means? In 1000 population, the cases of malaria reported will be 0 to 1. And in low transmission areas, near about 67% of Indian population resides. Geographic distribution. Malaria is major health problem in northeastern states Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Gujarat, Rajasthan, West Bengal. Out of these, you must know northeastern states. This is important to know because treatment strategies differs for northeastern states. In this slide, you can see distribution of malaria related to API, that is annual parasite incidence. In India, from 2000 to 2017, malaria cases decreased by 58.63% and malaria deaths decreased by 88.85%. Thus, India achieved success in reducing incidence of malaria as well as mortality related to malaria. As all of you know, malaria is vector-borne disease. In the beginning, we said it is transmitted by bites of infected female Anopheles mosquito. So, vector of malaria is Anopheles mosquito. So, which different species of this mosquito we can find in India? So, there are 6 species of Anopheles mosquito which are mainly found in India. Anopheles culissifacis. It is one of the most important vector found in rural India. It is also found in peri-urban areas. Anopheles culissifacis is most important vector for both Plasmodium vivax as well as Plasmodium falciparum. We can found this vector in natural sites as well as man-made breeding sites. What are various breeding places for Anopheles culissifacis? It can breed in pits, depressions, irrigation channels, etc. In this slide, you can see image of Anopheles stephensi. Anopheles stephensi, it is mainly found in urban areas. It is also found in industrial areas. And Anopheles stephensi, it can breed in water distribution pipes, domestic water containers, fountains, garden pools, etc. Here you can see image of another vector found in India, Anopheles fluviatilis. Anopheles fluviatilis, it is mainly found in hilly areas, in forest areas. It is one of the important vector in eastern parts of India, and Anopheles fluviatilis, it prefers to breed in slow moving water. Anopheles minimus, it is important vector we can find in foothills of northeastern states. Anopheles dirus is important forest vector. Why it is called as forest vector? As the name suggests, we can find this in forest and it is mainly found in northeast parts of India. Sixth type of vector of malaria which we can found in India is Anopheles epiroticus. Anopheles epiroticus, it is mainly found in Andaman Nicobar Islands. Out of these 6 vectors which we can find in India, at least remember 2 important names. One is Anopheles stephensi, which is important vector in urban parts, and Anopheles culissifacis, which is important vector in rural part. Epidemiologically, malaria has different types. These are known as epidemiological types of malaria, which includes tribal malaria, rural malaria, urban malaria, border malaria, forest malaria, floods and malaria in project areas. Tribal malaria. Tribal malaria is mainly found in tribal population. Major problem in tribal population is of falciparum malaria. Whatever total cases of malaria reported in India due to Plasmodium falciparum, 50% cases are reported from tribal population. In tribal population, infants, young children, pregnant women, they are having higher risk of developing falciparum malaria. As falciparum malaria is major problem here, it contributes to increased morbidity and mortality. The reasons includes limited health infrastructure facilities and inadequate supply of anti-malarial drugs. Rural malaria. In rural India, we can get cases of both vivax malaria as well as falciparum malaria. The distribution pattern which we can find in rural India, it includes endemic pattern. So in rural areas, malaria is found in endemic form. If we compare development of health infrastructure facilities, these are better developed as compared to tribal areas. And in rural India, we found important vector of malaria, that is Anopheles culissifacis. Urban malaria. 80% of malaria cases occur in urban areas. Malaria cases are mainly seen in peri-urban areas, and the important reason for increased occurrence of malaria cases in peri-urban areas is poor sanitary conditions, which contributes to breeding of mosquito and more transmission of malaria. In urban areas, we can find important vector Anopheles stephensi. Health infrastructure in urban areas is well developed. To recall, it is poorly developed in tribal areas, it is better developed in rural areas, and it is well developed in urban areas. Border malaria. Border areas are high transmission belt of malaria in India. Problem of malaria can be seen at international borders as well as at state borders. And whatever cases they are occurring at these areas, important problem which is faced in malaria control, it includes mixing of population. At the same time, administrative control is very poor at border areas. Next epidemiological type of malaria is forest malaria. As the name suggests, problem of malaria is mainly seen in forest areas. In addition to this, malaria is also found in recently deforested areas where human made their habitations. And the behavior of vector mosquito in these areas is also interesting. So vector mosquito bites human in their shelters and again returns back to forest. So this behavior of vector mosquito creates problem in malaria control because indoor residual spraying becomes less effective against these vectors as they are not residing in homes or in shelters and they returns back to forest after biting humans. Floods and malaria. What is impact of floods on occurrence of malaria? Floods increases incidence of malaria. How this happens? Following floods, water pools are created and this creation of water pools is favorable for breeding of mosquito vectors. So as breeding occurs, possibility of occurrence of malaria cases also increases. What is lag time between occurrence of flood and possible epidemic of malaria? So this lag time is between 6 weeks to 8 weeks. This is last epidemiological type of malaria, that is malaria in project areas. But this is one of the most important epidemiological type. Now what is meaning of project areas? Project areas are those areas where construction or developmental activities are undertaken. So you will find various ongoing construction activities, various ongoing developmental activities, different engineering projects that are undertaken in these areas. Now, as various projects are going on, people have opportunities for work. Now, what happens? Laborers from different parts of India, they migrate to such areas for work. Now, there is possibility when they migrate from different parts of India, they may carry different malarial parasites in their circulation. At the same time, construction sites are favorable for breeding of vector mosquito. So now at construction site, vector is breeding, laborers with malarial parasites are available. So this increases man-mosquito contact and which is favorable for transmission of malaria. One more problem is noticed in cases occurring in project areas is whatever cases of malaria that occurs in project areas, they are showing resistance to one of the most effective drug used in the treatment of malaria, that is chloroquine. So chloroquine resistance is additional problem in project areas. Let us see some definitions or some terminologies which are used in relation to malaria. Malaria control or control of malaria. What is meaning of this? So here we are supposed to reduce burden of malaria and this burden is reduced to that level where malaria should not remain as public health problem. Malaria elimination. What is elimination of malaria? It means interrupting mosquito-borne transmission of malaria in local areas. In addition to this, it also includes zero incidence of malaria in definite geographic areas. Now, when mosquito-borne transmission is fully interrupted for successive 3 years, then World Health Organization issues certificate of elimination to the country. Malaria eradication, it means permanent reduction to zero incidence at global level. So when we achieve the target of zero incidence at global level, we can say malaria is globally eradicated. And once different species of malarial parasites are globally eradicated, in future further interventions won't be required.